Supervisor Federici,
Here.
Councilman Fancher,
Here.
Councilwoman Mattice,
Here.
Councilman Crowder,
Here.
Councilman Smith,
Here.
Gary Sutton, Rich Irwin,
Here.
Marie Stuber, Diane Williams, Tyler Lotta.
I told him not to come. He's gonna be busy the next 36 hours. Okay, we can stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any privilege of the floor requests? Okay. Then if we could, we'll go to the minutes. And we have minutes from the January 9th, February 13th.
We approved the January 9th ones last
No,
time.
I think that was the second. That was the organization.
My minutes were on there, but okay.
All right, well, humor me.
No problem.
All right, those three that I sent you guys over the weekend, I think it was. And you have hard copies here if you want to refresh your memory.
Yeah. I'll make a motion, we approve them all. We just have to change the one from February 22nd. It was titled audit. It's an AUD doctor.
Okay.
It's not an audit.
No, it's not.
Pat will certainly tell you that.
It's an annual update document.
Correct.
Yes, okay.
Just
So
AUD.
we'll note that in the minutes. So you make the motion to approve as stated. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried.
On the January 9th ones, it says agenda at the top.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
That's all.
All right. We can change that too. Do we have a report from Marie?
We do.
Oh, nice.
It says, good evening. Mark Loss and I have been reviewing each parcel for the last 2 months for reevaluation. I have submitted the initial changes to the county, who will update the records. From there, I will receive another report to review the changes recorded and make any further changes that are needed. Letters to everyone will be out this month, and informal reviews will be available by appointment only until April 15th for those who want to discuss any corrections they feel warranted on their parcel. The deadline to file any new renewal or exemption request has now gone by. As long as an application was postmarked by March 1st, I will receive it later than I can accept it. New exemptions I have received this year are 1 enhanced star, 3 agricultural, 1 veteran, and 7 new age seniors for lower income owners, and 6 exemptions for age being removed due to ineligibility. Just a reminder to continue to discuss the new fire and EMS exemption laws, so any new law is in place prior to 2025. Anyone wanting to apply for the local law is in place would have to apply by March 1st of that roll year.
Just a comment on that. We did have a draft ready for that exemption for firefighters, emergency services, but the assessors in the county asked that we just pull it back because they were going to get additional information, which would probably be helpful. And they said, you've got a lot of time because you have until March 1st of next year. So the county and just about every town I know of has pulled it back. You'll be seeing a proposed local law on that particular subject, I guess in the next 2 or 3 months. But I'm glad that she brought that up. That's it? Okay, need a proposal to accept the assessor's report?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
A second.
We have a second from Lori. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Rich, code enforcement report.
Let's see. Currently, we have 41 open permits, no expired permits, and 3 active, some level of enforcement. This past month, I issued 3 building permits, 3 certificates of compliance, 1 renewal, 3 property searches, did some inspections, including some final inspections, Followed up on 2 complaints. There was 1 new complaint, and then I was in court 1 time. And I've been in contact with 7 short-term rental hosts, and there's probably another 4 or 5 that I just haven't heard from yet. I think that's about it.
So we had, I think last week time we talked, it was around 13, 14 potential.
Yeah, 12, 13, but right in that one. Yeah.
Okay. There are a lot of them around. There's a company that claims that they'll give us a list for a fee through their exhaustive data scanning, that there's 322 of them in Schoharie County. We thought we only knew about 200.
Oh.
So there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
A lot of them come and go too.
Sure.
But anyway,
Yeah.
okay. We need a motion to accept.
I'll make that.
That was quick, thank you.
I'll second it.
So we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Town clerk's report.
There was 1 marriage license issued, 7 copies of 7 certified copies of a birth certificate.
Were they old ones?
I apologize, I don't know why that, birth death, sorry. I was very confused by that. I was like, what is that? 2 dog licenses, 9 water district payments, and 17 sewer district payments.
Terrific. Motion to accept the clerk's report.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. That tax collector's report.
Diane said that there are 24 zero amount bills, 236 unpaid, 0 partially paid, 1,069 fully paid. Total number collected so far is $1,388,589.34. Total unpaid is $350,159.04.
Okay. And she left me a check this morning for $804 for penalties. And usually it's more than that for February. So I don't know if people are holding back or we're ahead of the game or just, we'll see.
We don't accept partial payments, do we?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
There's not a lot of them, but
I didn't know we accepted.
yeah. Oh, we'll take it.
Never even in a nickel at a time.
No, what happens is, we're all made whole by this time, so anything she collects goes to the county, but we get to keep the penalties for our efforts. Yeah, it could be $5,000, $6,000 a year until she turns it over to the county in June.
Right.
Okay, a motion to accept the tax collector's report?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. And a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Sewer district.
So Travis didn't send the monthly report. He did send out his annual report though. He said there have not been any large unforeseen expenditures for fiscal year 2022. There have not been any site permit violations. Town of Conesville wastewater treatment plant is not scheduled to undergo any large projects for 2023 fiscal year. There's no monthly FOR or DMR required by permit because discharge is subsurface. An operator's report including flow numbers is nonetheless prepared and submitted to the town of Conesville monthly, and those reports are available at cover cost.
Okay. He did tell me that this is going into the 3rd year of operation, starting the 3rd year of operation, and usually it's about every 3rd or 4th year that they're going to pump out individual septic tanks. So they're going to go around and inspect. I don't know how they inspect them, but they're going to inspect who needs it more than probably the ones that have full occupancies rather than the weekenders, but that will start this year. So, and we have the money in the budget to do that. Well, actually, DEP does. All in favor of accepting the sewer district operator's report? It was an annual report, but it was a report.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make it.
That's
I'll
it.
make a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Historian's report. Looked like everybody left you their report and ran. Historian's report.
No, I don't have one.
Okay, well, see, I was wrong there. No report. Highway super. I know he left you a report, right?
What?
Highway super.
Oh, yes, actually, where did I put it? Sorry. I know that was not in my packet. I'll explain why I had an extra one this morning. There it is. This report will show some of the key items the highway department has worked on during the month of February 2023. Salt and sand, plowed numerous ice storms, brought grader into the shop for service and some repairs to get it ready for the upcoming summer. Filled potholes across town, hauled in stone to Tanglewood, Goodfellow, Wood, Buell, and Bush roads to try to bind up a few sections of mud and ruts. Put up and straightened a few different road signs and delineators. Minor basic repairs made to multiple snowplow trucks. Anderson Equipment came out and contracted and serviced the loader. New brush tractor has arrived. If there's any questions, reach out to Tyler.
Okay. I know I talked to him several times today. They're gearing up for a big storm. I'm sure they'll get through it, but it'll be a lot of work.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
We have a motion from Kelly. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second. All that is in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. County report. I promise to be brief. This guy will give you the evil eye. What I did was solicit the other board members up at the county, the other supervisors, and said, what are we going to do for goals? I've been doing this since I've been the chairman, and we came up with 4 areas, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on any one of them. And in no necessarily order of priority. One was the need to look at our entire homeless situation in the county. There are a lot more people homeless than anybody thinks there are. It's not just the people that the county transported to a hotel or found a place for them to stay. But those are the only ones that count as homeless, and according to the state. It doesn't count people who surf from couch to couch at people's houses, sleeps in their car or van, or camps out in the better weather for like 3 months at a time along the Schoharie Creek. So there's a whole lot more than that. And it's costing the county. Forget about doing the right thing, which, well, don't forget about it, poor choice of words. But we're trying to identify how many people are truly homeless here, because by law we're obligated to take care of them. We get I think 38 or 39% from the state, but that's not the point. I have a special select committee going through all the data, working with the state, see what some opportunities are, and see if we can consolidate that. Because right now there's nothing in the county except for a select kind of people that let's just say you wouldn't want them living next door to you. Sex offenders. They're homeless, they have their own hotel. And we're trying to find some way to consolidate that instead of shipping people off to Schenectady or Albany, because there's nothing here. There's absolutely nothing here. So if we can consolidate that in the county, because a lot of them have issues, mental health, substance abuse. We can take them for their counseling or whatever, because we have to transport them, go pick them up and we take them to wherever they're being seen and then take them back. That costs a lot of money. So if they can have those services nearby in the county, it's a winner. And there was a big meeting today from that select committee and some people from the state. So that one there, though, I mean, even if you have no heart for the homeless, you have a heart for your pocketbook, this is a lot of money. The other one is one of the others is economic development. We've got a lot of things going on, but we have too many different parties going in different directions on how to handle it, and who handles it, and who thinks they should handle it, but they have no authority yet. It's a mess. So we have somebody, another select group working on that. We have another one where building security sucks, to put it blankly. Anybody can walk in. I've had people storm into my office screaming and yelling about something that nothing to do with the county. But since they want to see me, I mean, nah, ask for an appointment, but it's bad. Something's good. We did have an incident of violence at DSS. Maybe your sister's told you about it. No, okay. It's public information. But anyway, we're looking at that. And the last one is we've been asked to take a look at merging the Conesville Police Department with Scary County Sheriff's Department. And there's a lot of pluses and minuses with that, and I don't know if it'll ever happen, and it'll take a real long time to do that, but that select committee is working with the sheriff, the police chief, and everybody's got an opinion, but none of them is based on fact, they're based on emotions. That's going to take a long time. But that has an impact on tax dollars, so some people have to decide if it's worth the cost of a merger. There's some.
What's the purpose of the merger?
Right now, we can't cover the county 24/7. We don't have enough people. Even if we do, it's difficult. And they can't cover the village 24/7 anymore. So if we have a bigger squad, we would be able to do that. And then the more help is needed, and we do mutual aid anyway, but if more help is needed at 2 o'clock in the morning, we have a lot more flexibility. And plus, if you're in a small department like Conesville, there's not a whole lot of runway in terms of your career. You're waiting for someone to die or retire, basically. If you go to a combined force, it could be anywhere from 30, 32 people. There's a lot more opportunity to keep people interested in their jobs, because that's one of the causes of lack of retention. At both places, to be honest with you, those gotten a lot better at the county. But it's lack of retention because they hop from department to department, or because they see an opportunity, a promotion. They take the sergeant's test for something, for Oneonta. They'll jump over there, then the next thing you know, they'll jump back over to another. And that's the way it works these days. There's not a lot of permanent loyalty, but we're trying to maybe incent people to stick around and get to know their community. Will it cost more? It might. We still established the county EMS, which was sorely needed, and it's not paying for itself, but we never said it would. But it is charging or billing for what they do, soft billing. If you don't have insurance, you're not going to pay. But if you have Medicare, Medicaid, or health insurance, they get the bill. We're still subsidizing that. So I suspect whatever the numbers are, and it could be like a year and a half, 2 years from now before they come up with that. So it's a long, emotional process. So those are the 4 goals. There's other stuff, but see the islands and stuff.
What about the old jail that they were talking about?
I talked about that today, as a matter of fact. That could be, I stress the word could be, the solution for the homeless.
Yeah.
And they did it in Albany County. Sheriff Apple took the old jail, and some people, how could you? These people are going to think you're locking them up. I saw pictures of it on the news, and some of our guys are going to go take a look at it. Pulled all the bars out, and they have what they call pods, like the females were here, the hardcore people were there, or whatever. They had a reason for breaking it out in the pods. They got rid of all that. They still have the same tables, the same TV. It's almost like a lounge at a hospital, a dormitory spot type of deal. And there's no bars. You can walk in and out any way, but some people have a problem with that.
Which old jail are we talking about? The one
In Scary, the one that got flooded out.
Okay, the one that got put out behind that minute, right next to the
Yes.
highway department.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Now,
I
there
didn't
is,
know if you were talking about that one or the old jail down in the middle of town, behind motor vehicle there.
oh man, that is old. That's a cowboy jail.
Yeah, it is.
Now, if we ever did anything with this, keeping in mind that FEMA has already told us, since they gave us the money to build a new jail, well, most of it, 75%, that they would never, ever want to see that address on a claim for flooding, ever. That's part of the deal of taking the money. which is fine, but if it's a temporary situation for homeless, you're not really investing a whole lot in assets that would be out in the open floor or maybe with some partitions, you know, for female, male, things like that. So that's not a big risk, but right there is a 10,000 square feet of really nice office space on the second floor.
It's a shame to have wasted.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, we're trying to sell it, but it's a hard sell. You could put a lot of professional services there. People that do need that to see their doctor on a regular basis. Go ahead. Some of them are even for, I see the DSS, they have, what they call that, visitation of their children, but it has to be,
Oh, yeah.
Supervised.
yeah, supervised, all that stuff, if the person's homeless. So, it's a real challenge, and people in this county, well, everywhere else, don't realize the depth of it. They really don't. I mean, we've got homeless people here in Conesville, but I mean, they're fortunate enough to go from friend to friend's house, or maybe in the summer they sleep in their car. So, anyway, that's my county report. I have other things, but I'll save those for next month. So, motion to accept the supervisor's county report.
I'll make the motion.
A second.
We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Okay, moving along. We have the December 2022 and the January 2023 supervisor's budget statement. Again, I sent that to you over, I guess it was last week. I have the hard copy here. Do you want to refresh your memory on any questions you had? Or I'm sure you're, if I quizzed you, you'd be right up to speed on all of it. But I won't do that. But I will take a motion to accept them.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion.
I'll second
And we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
it. Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. I did have a budget amendment, but I'm going to pull that back until next month. There's no rush on it. Board of Assessment Review. Actually, we have two appointments, not one. The first one was the one that I originally told you about, I guess a week or two ago. Nick Cadimo is his term expires this year, and they're going to go into their cycle. I think it's in May, third week in May or something like that. So we need to appoint him if that's what we want to do. I think this is starting his third term. It's a 5-year term. Says he'd like to do it, so rather than go try to get somebody else, I'm recommending, because he's done a nice job. I'm recommending that.
Well,
we
if he
appoint
still
Nick.
wants it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor of appointing Nick Cadimo to the Board of Assessment Review for another 5-year term?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All in favor? I did that, never mind. You know, stop rushing me, you guys. Yes, you did. You told me in the office, move it along. All right. The second appointment is to replace Karen O'Leary, who has stepped down. And the individual that I sent you and I went through all the names of people in town. I thought this would be the best one to recommend, but I'm open to ideas. But the one I sent to you folks for your comments, and I did get positive comments from 2 others, is Jake Laban. I think he would do a great job.
I do too, as long as he's interested.
He's interested. Well, I never ask anybody till I hear you guys are willing. I don't want to offer it to him and then find out you didn't want him.
That's fine by me.
Yeah, Jake's good choice.
Yes, he is. So I need a motion for Jacob Laban to fill the remaining term for Karen O'Leary.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
And we have a second. All that, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Last real thing I have is just to talk about the Couchman House a little bit. We had an opportunity presented to us at the end of February, which was to put in for a grant, and I don't know the exact term for it is, but each congressperson has a certain number of grants that they can submit to the House Appropriations Committee. So Congresswoman Stefanik put hers out. She has 15 grants. She's had a lot of success. The last 20, she's done 25 grants in 2 years, and she's had 24 out of the 25 approved by the Appropriations Committee. It doesn't hurt that she's the third ranking member of the majority party. Even she's the minority party now. So anyway, it's the 14 counties that she has in her district. There will be fierce competition, for sure. But they were due on Wednesday. I got, last week, I got everything out to them. Everything was, no paper, everything is online. So, well, there were papers that I had to put in. I had to scan and put in, but we had 45 emails and letters from the town, the county, and higher elected officials to asking her to give favorable consideration to the grant for the Couchman House. And when I say the Couchman House, if we got this money, unless things go up crazy again, the prices, probably would be enough to get everything done. And you have to do it with 1 year if the Appropriations Committee approves it.
Okay.
So it's a big job. And of course, she has to, they will let us know if we go to the next round, as they say, March 31st or a little bit later, because she has to turn them in to the Appropriations Committee. And there's all different ones. Ours falls under rural community affairs. And it's only like $220,000. Meanwhile, some people are putting in for $12 million sewer system. So I'm hoping that we just squeak between the cracks because they had some money left over. Whatever the reason is, I don't care as long as we get it.
That would be really nice.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
That'd be a big help.
Yes. No, I also cried poverty, you know, the usual. But it's, maybe I exaggerate a little bit, but I didn't lie. Also, we, meaning me, Sean, and I did some work over there last month. We got down the rest of the chimney of what we wanted to take down. There's still the outside, basically it's equivalent to where the ceiling would be on the first floor. If we ever want to do anything with it in the future, you can still put a flue pipe there, put a phony or fake looking, there's options. But that had to come down because it was separating from the building. Not good. But there was a lot of stuff there. I ordered a container a few weeks before that, and he was putting some in, and I was feeding some of it in. We said, before the snow comes, not this storm, but the one before it, two before it, we got it all in there. Man, those cinder blocks are heavy. So the bill for the container was up there. I mean, it was the weight was like 4.5 tons. You know, usually we're throwing, you know, junk that they had inside the house there. This was, I tell you, I was tired. I mean, I'm getting older. We both, well, and by the way, he's only a year younger than me, and I can't keep up with him.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And we had some room in the dumpster, so we did a little bit of house cleaning inside, particularly in that back room there where he had done some, covered up over the skylights. So that's done. Get some nice weather. We'll probably have a need to fill one more dumpster. Maybe we'll get some volunteers together on that. That's sort of along what we were doing last time. Then the other thing is we have an electrician, finally. I tried to ask around for more local quotes, and I'm not going to give names out, but one did return calls. The other one did come out, said he'd like to do the job, give me a quote. He said, I'll have it for you tomorrow. Well, it took a week, so against my better judgment, I called anyway. He said, where's the quote? All right, you can have it soon. I did get it. Well, no, I didn't get it. He said he had it for me. I said, all right, give it to me. I'll give you a call back. And we've gone back and forth. If this is what we're going to go through while the job is going on. And by the way, that person there thought we had to rip all the wiring out of the building. I don't see it. and none of the other electricians that looked at it didn't feel that way. Maybe some of the older cloth wiring that goes back in the day, perhaps. But there's a lot of that stuff that's got good vinyl coated wire, so I don't know why we would need to rip that out. That's one of the reasons I was afraid of a lot of extras that weren't necessarily anticipated. And so I did speak with the owner, Bill Pavlison, his name is, of Northeast Electric, and I also researched them a little bit better. And they're big. They're very big in Greene County. And he does work here. He has customers in Conesville. And he gave the best price, $2,800 on the replacing the panel, 150 amp panel with a 200 amp panel. I never heard of 150, but it's there. And there will be some unanticipated work that we'll have to pay. He gave a price of $125, which I think 5 years ago I would have been in shock, but no more. That's pretty much the going rate, and I think I had a higher rate from the other person who gave us a quote, and a higher price. But I know they both do good jobs, so that's who I'm comfortable with. He's getting me his insurance certificate and a couple of other things, and hopefully we can start that job in, say, 3 weeks, something like that. He has crews. He's not a one-person shop. He has son runs something, and he has crews. And I heard good reports on him. And since we couldn't get any of our local people to give us a quote, which is unfortunate, because we all want to support our local craftsmen, or laborers, or skilled people, labor. So, and that's where we are.
What are you doing for the heating and cooling?
You got to get the power first. You're right. But the heating and cooling, see the systems that we have here? The split system, they call it. The state will give us points that are worth dollars if you do certain energy efficient things, like putting these things in here in the town hall. We already have done switched over our street lights to LED several years ago. We've also put in new lighting at the town highway barn, and in here it is fluorescent, but it's highly efficient. Those are all worth points.
Okay.
And we will have almost enough points to get about, according to the person I'm working with, $10,000 or $12,000 off the bill. But it'll be a big installation, there's no question about it. We're not going to go to oil or even propane. That's just not the future anymore.
I'm going to suggest geothermal.
Yeah, but that is prohibitive.
Well,
You're talking for, yes.
There's also the kind of geothermal that you could bury the coils instead of drilling down.
Right.
Since you have all that.
There's a guy who
backyard.
killed Gilboa has it. He's about a 400-foot swirling.
Yeah, just bury them.
Yep.
I mean, mine go really deep, but
You gotta go
that's
low.
cost prohibitive. But
Yeah.
a field
Mine goes
is
straight down.
not.
What's that?
So mine went straight down. I got 2 wells.
Yeah.
Geothermal system. So I think that would be the cheaper way to go.
Well, we'll get whatever's cheapest, and then we're going to work with she's not with the state, she's with the Mohawk Valley Economic Development District.
Yeah, at the time that we put ours in, the state was giving rebates on that
Yes,
systems.
yes. So it's an option, but I want heating and cooling.
Geothermal does do both.
Right.
Yeah.
I have an air source heat pump like these are at home,
Yeah.
and I do AC and but it's an older one. It's only good down to 30 degrees, the heat. But the ones that like these here, they're good down to 18 degrees below zero,
15 below.
15 below. And they're going to work harder, but they'll work.
Yeah, and they'll work beyond that. That's what they're rated for. They'll work beyond that. We have some that are rated for -4. And I was on a Zoom call with one of their reps who had it in their building in just outside of Wisconsin somewhere again. And it was 17 below. The wind chill had it at about 25 below. And he put his little thermometer up there. That thing was still pumping out 90-degree heat.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. Once you get down where it gets cold, now your electric meter spins a little faster. You know, it's not free heat.
No, it's not.
But it's very efficient and it doesn't use any of the fossil fuels,
Mhm.
only to create the electricity.
Yeah.
That's the part too many people forget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow you have to create electricity.
Or they're gonna put 600,000 acres of renewable energy facilities across central and northern New York State just to supply downstate. That's don't get me started, you've heard this before.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
BS.
By the way, when it snows, you gotta wait 4 hours before it starts generating anything too. Because they're covered up, they're not
That's right.
collecting the sunlight.
That's right.
Of course, you can hire, you can hire a couple people to go out and brush them off.
And they'll tell you there's local jobs in there. That's one of their, local jobs.
So a lot of things I'm told I don't really believe.
No, like my friend Don Airy says in Blenheim, he's our lead guy on this, he says, they like to wave the shiny objects in front of you and tell you all the good things it's gonna do, but they don't. And the governor has given them like an 80 to 85, 87% reduction in the methodology to assess what the property's worth, right on the backs of every person in this, that owns that property. As a matter of fact, I didn't plan this. I just came in and this letter was here. There's going to be a rally, and I'm not asking you guys to go, but it's sent to fellow leaders in government. I have no idea why the office of supervising the town of Hempstead sent me this. But Governor Hochul has a proposal to ban, you're not going to believe this, single family only zoning.
I do believe it.
Well, that's horse bleep. Somebody buys a house, now it's insane.
What is it?
There is a proposal to ban single family zoning restriction. In other words, where I used to live, they had that. People would buy a house, and they cheated a lot because they do a mother and daughter type of thing, but it's still a family member. But you could not rent out part of the house. She also was trying to make 800,000 housing units in New York State, new because we need them. But she doesn't explain, why do we need these housing units if we're losing 300,000-400,000 people at a time? Are they burning their houses down as they leave? I mean, it just makes no sense whatsoever. And it doesn't matter, and it's not political, just look at the numbers. Why are you spending taxpayer dollars or incenting people to do this when we have plenty of houses being vacated?
They're shipping the illegals up.
Oh yeah, that's part of it too.
And the bus load, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
And she anticipates it being for them.
Anyway, that was a little bit of a side trip, but that's all I have. Anybody have anything they want to bring up?
Who would I talk to about getting either this space or the firehouse for our VA, our American Legion meeting? We want to move it from Eric's on Tuesday over to 7 o'clock in the evening, either here or over at the firehouse.
Probably more comfortable at the firehouse. You can do it here, but the firehouse, you have to talk to the, how often is it?
Just want some.
I'm sure if you talk to the commissioners, and I would contact Madeline, who's not, she'll be back in,
I can check.
yeah, Lozito. But we have somebody in the room who's filling in for her while she's away.
Oh, okay.
So, what time?
Well, we want to move it to Tuesday night at 7.
Tuesday night?
Yeah. It used to be.
Don't do it the third Tuesday. Gun club meeting
No.
at 7.
No, we do it the first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday's 4-H.
First Tuesday's 4-H?
Ah,
Okay,
That's
so we
fine.
have
Second,
the
if
first
it's gotta be a
Tuesday's
Tuesday.
4-H, the second is what?
No, third Tuesday is the gun club.
Uh-huh.
Does it have to be Tuesday?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, we can shift it to, Monday or Wednesday.
Wednesday fire department
Okay, well,
training.
go back to Monday. Would that be workable?
Well, you're gonna have to work that out with them. They don't.
So Monday or Tuesday?
I mean, you got a kitchen there, the whole facility to make coffee.
And if there's another Tuesday,
The
instead
American
of fourth
Legion's
Tuesdays
been
open.
shrinking rapidly, and so since I'm in command, I'm trying to find ways to make it more accessible to, we got a lot of veterans in the area.
Mhm.
They either don't know about us, or maybe our current time is just inconvenient, because 10 o'clock in the morning at Eric's, a lot of them are probably working. So if we can get it to the evening,
Mhm.
and then advertise through here, or possibly on the site, that we're looking to take in more veterans, then we would have need to go to the evening and get them in there.
Do you want me to call you when I
Yep.
look at the calendar?
Mm-hmm.
What's your number?
607
Mhm.
588 6569.
What's your name?
Larry Cowden.
Okay. After the storm,
Yeah.
I'll go to the firehouse.
That's a problem?
Well, I could walk, but
Yeah, yeah, but who wants to walk if it slows that, you know, snowshoes?
We got snowshoes.
I do.
yeah, I do too.
I haven't used them in about
Haven't
3 years.
used them
no
yet.
snow. Okay.
So I'll let you know.
Anybody else have anything? I will assume that's it then. I will need a motion to review the invoices, and then after that, I mean, anybody's willing, who wants to, can stick around, but we're going to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
To review the invoices.
Mhm.
Yep,
A
second.
second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?